Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Hockey Mountain High podcast. I'm Griffin Youngs, joined by Christian Bolle. As always, as the Avalanche have indeed bounced back, as we predicted, with a win at home over the Washington Capitals. This is the big one for me, at the very least. I was able to make my way down to Ball Arena for that one, and just a very fun, solid, I felt just dominant win over a team that, knowing both, the Avalanche should be beating in this game, to be quite frank. And not a perfect game, I don't think, by any stretch, but far better than Nashville, far better than Toronto, and just felt like the Avs of old a little bit, just overmatching a team completely.
Well, it goes exactly to what we talked about in our preview, where the Caps are a good team. They're good. They have no answer for Nathan MacKinnon, and that's exactly how this game went. They had no answer for Nathan MacKinnon, and not a lot of people do, especially in this game. I felt bad for the Caps for the fact that MacKinnon had gone, 2 or 3 games without scoring a goal, and he was just a man on a mission today, and he just tore apart the Caps, just tore them apart.
Yeah, this was a game where you had your star players just on a different stratosphere, really, than everybody else in this game. You get your depth to get you going with a nice goal from Parker Kelly, and it was a bit of a weird game officiating wise, that kind of hindered the Avs' ability to get off to a real nice start. But once the game evened out a bit and you got more 5-on-5 play, especially the third period, 16-3 in shots. This just really wasn't that close once you really look at it. It was a little close going in to the third period, but just the Avs were the better team in this game. And the Capitals, knowing what I know about both teams, they should not be beating the Avs really under any circumstance. The Avs, they're a bad matchup for them. They give them trouble in every conceivable way. If the Avs are losing to this team, then something has gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, the Caps have to play a near perfect game to beat the Avs, and they aren't, one, healthy enough to do that, and two, I just don't think the Caps have a player who's even close to Nathan MacKinnon now. Obviously, Ovechkin all time better, but right now they got no one even close to Nathan MacKinnon.
Yeah, and that's the difference you saw in the game. They don't have an answer for MacKinnon. They don't have an answer for Makar. They don't have an answer for just the skill gap in this game was so prevalent for such large portions of it. And this is exactly the result you should be getting out of it.
Yeah, it's exactly the result. This isn't I'm going to ask you this. Of the Avs' top 4 players, MacKinnon would be the best player on the Caps. Makar would be the best player on the Caps. And then we get, would Natchez be the best player on the Caps right now?
Yeah, probably.
Natchez. Would Brock Nelson be the best player on the Caps right now?
Probably not. I feel like you can start to make the argument for okay, maybe now you could talk Jacob Chychrun and healthy Tom Wilson's probably somewhere close to that. But this Brock Nelson, it's probably in that conversation for sure.
But there is that talent gap between these two teams. And it's I do think the Caps are still a playoff team, but we both agree they aren't a cup contender. That's just not what they are.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted coming into this game that the Avs are going to win 6-1, and I was off a goal apiece for both sides. But you saw in the third period where I was coming from with that, where it's the Caps are not playing well right now. And the Avs, they had just lost the consecutive games on home ice, the last one in regulation. They were due for a good bounce back here. And when it gets down to it, even in a close game like this, where it's, a 1-goal game going into the final period, when the Avs turn it on, the Caps don't have an answer for that, like we've said. Their power play, even though it did score in this game, which was very funny, and so did the Avs in this game, which is very funny, they don't have a good enough power play for it. They don't have the defensive shutdown guys for it. And even the ones that they do, MacKinnon went right around Alexei Protas in this game and just walked right in on Marty Faravari for the 2-1 goal in this game. And the shots end up being 44-24 in favor of the Avs in this game. At 5-on-5, the shots are 34-15. If you want to extend that to even strength, because there was some 4-on-4 time, it was 36-18. So they double them up. Shot attempts are 74-45, 53-35 in unblocked shots, and expected goals 3.4 for the Avs, 2 flat for the Caps. Like this is exactly the kind of I just think get right game a little bit. That didn't end up being the blowout maybe, but you get your stars back. MacKinnon has himself a 3-point night. Makar should have had more points in this game, which we will get to later on. He ends with an assist, but you even get a point for Alex Barré-Boulet, who comes in very last second in this game because Val Nichushkin, as they're going out for warmups, it's announced he's just not going to dress. It's announced post-game that he got into a wreck on the way to the game today. And doesn't sound like it's anything super serious, but they just didn't want to risk it with him playing or anything today. Just horrible luck.
It's horrible luck, but also I was thinking about it with how many car accidents happen on a daily basis. It is surprising we don't hear about this more often.
It is. The last one I can remember is Mark Andrews of the Ravens, where he got in a wreck in training camp. And obviously knowing Maryland drivers, I'm not super surprised by that. But it is surprising you don't hear about that often.
Right. I don't know. I was just when it happens, you go, oh, yeah, with how many accidents happen and how crazy I-25 is at the time of day he was probably going. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more. I feel bad for his car. He's probably got a $120,000 car that's going to need to be fixed up. But he's going to be okay by all means. But you texted me that 10 minutes before the game that he wasn't playing.
It was announced literally as they hit the ice for warmups.
How did they get that guy down from Loveland so fast?
The same way I did. I mean, they probably just texted him hey, how fast can you get here? Because the Eagles played last night. They played the Henderson Silver Knights, which I was there for, and had a great time. And Barré-Boulet had himself a solid game as well. But good on him for coming in on what is a back-to-back for him and picking up a point on the first goal and everything.
It'd be so I would just love to know how that phone call went. He's day off, I get to relax, and it's nope, I gotta hustle.
I know this so well, being in the line of work that I'm in, where you prepare for your day off, you get a phone call at 5:00 for a 7:00 game, hey, someone's sick or a student didn't show up, can you come help? Exactly how it is.
Yeah, but it's just the speed he got down there was impressive. He was there for warm-ups.
Yeah. Dang. So was I.
Yeah.
Probably got it at the same time I did.
Yeah. It was just unfortunate for Val, but here's the thing, they didn't really need him in this game, so it didn't really matter. But Val's going to be okay. That's really all we care about. And,
and also to be missing Val, Landeskog, Tays, and to still put up a solid performance here. I mean, this is my criticism from the Nashville game. It was those guys are out, but you should still know how to do your job.
Correct.
And this game, it felt like the system was back in place. There was some stretches that weren't perfect, but I felt for probably 50 minutes of this game, the Avs were pretty in control. I mean, we can start to go through it a little step by step here. The game started very awkwardly. The officiating in this game was not good. And I feel more comfortable saying that today than I think I've ever have been in my life, because now I know it's not just me being biased.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to watch this game kind of down the middle. These are my teams. I enjoy watching both of them. I'm leaning a little towards the home side just because of the energy of the crowd and everything. I'm doing my best to be mostly impartial. The officiating in this game was sucked. It was so genuinely bad. And it starts with 3 power plays right off the rip for the Capitals. And the second one, made up, completely made up call. We're sitting here when the last 4 periods of play, you have 3 calls that I just do not understand at all. At all. You go to the one from Nashville where they tell themselves they have to call a penalty, so they make up one for Bardakov, reviewing it. And then you start this one. They already put the Caps on the power play early. And the second one here, it's on Scott Wedgwood. So he gets the stick knocked out of his hand. I believe it was from Anthony Beauvillier in the crease, which is not a penalty. Then Beauvillier trips on the stick that is laying on the ice. and they call Scott Wedgwood for tripping. I don't like I have never seen that. I've in all my years of watching hockey, I think I can comfortably say I have never seen that called ever.
And when I was watching it, it looked like I thought maybe Gerard tripped him.
Yeah.
I was like, optically,
that's also what the crowd thought, because everyone around me was looking at Gerard's stick and saying he didn't touch him. He just fell. He tripped on Wedgwood's stick, which Wedgwood was not holding.
Correct.
I'm curious, because now I'm gaslighting myself and to be like, is that the rule that if you trip on the goalie's stick, it's the goalie's penalty if he's not holding? Because like maybe there is some clause buried.
There's a precedent. You said like if any stick on the ice, you trip on a stick, does the opposing team get a penalty for a stick that happened 3 shifts ago? Like I don't know.
Like this is what I'm saying. Like is like maybe there's a rule for that. I don't know. The NHL has made up rules sometimes, but this is just one that I've never seen that before. Never in my life seen that before. And this is really funny because we're all complaining in our section and everything. First of all, I'm at the very top of the arena for this game. I am literally as high up as I can possibly be. I have my back to the wall. And first of all, I love doing that. I think that's
it's the best.
I'll be honest. Sometimes I like that more than being close because I see everything. But we're all talking to each other. We're all trying to explain. I'm explaining to the people next to me who are a little newer. They're like, no, it was the goalie. They called the goalie. That's why they're putting number 56 in the box, because they can't put the goalie in the box. But I tell them, but don't worry. The Caps power play is awful. And then we just kind of looked at each other for a second. And I said, I probably shouldn't have said that. Puck in the net. It was like a sitcom bit, like immediately in the net. And we both just busted out laughing. I could not have timed that any better. It is unbelievable. Because I said coming to this game, the Caps power play is worse than the Avs. And it looked pretty good in this game, which was surprising. But so did the Avs for the most part. I kind of like their power play in this game. But they tie up the game at 1. The first goal obviously came from Parker Kelly, and it's just off of this absolutely made-up call that just had no basis in reality or any precedent that I have ever seen set before, and it just absolutely blew me away.
It's crazy because I can see if the ref, like optically, it looks like Gerard trips him. Like if they called that penalty on Gerard, I could give them like a little bit of a break because like optically it does look like Gerard trips him. But to get together and still call the penalty on Wedgwood is insane.
Right. They didn't even get like right away. They went right to center ice, 41 Colorado, 2 minutes for tripping. Like they were on that.
Yeah.
They're like, yep, he dropped the stick. He tripped over the stick. That's the call. There was no confusion. They were dead set on this one. They were confident that they had this one right.
It was crazy. I've never seen that happen before. I've seen goalies commit penalties, but like it's pretty egregious. And then like later in the game, I feel like Lindgren tripped someone in the third period. Like
he did get called for that. He did with 18 seconds left in the game. The one on Victor Olsen. Another thing I was saying, I don't think I've ever seen both goalies get penalized in a game before. The goalie stick stuff in this game was ridiculous.
It was one of those games too where like for the officiating, it felt like they over officiated it. Like
how way too much officiated. Every single puck drop was pulling teeth. Yep. With these guys, they're kicking people out of the face-off. They're waiting to drop the puck. It was probably at least 10 times in this game. The crowd is like, drop the puck. What is like? They're throwing Caps out of the circle, and the crowd is restless because they're like, drop the puck. The officials were all over themselves in this game and inserted themselves right in the middle because in the first period it's 3-0 Caps in power plays. And it's 1-1 in the game. I feel like for most of the first period, the Avs were pretty dominant at 5-on-5. They just couldn't get a rhythm going because they kept having to kill penalties and they give up 1. And then you get the Jacob Chychrun high stick on Ross Colton, which ends up being,
how was that a double minor? Was he bleeding? I didn't catch that part.
I guess he was. He must have had some fleck of blood. I was explaining it to the people next to me how the rule works, and then they called it 4 minutes. I was like, oh, cool. I guess he was bleeding somehow. I mean, I literally could not be further away, so I couldn't.
I know, but like even when I was watching, I was like, "Where is this a double minor?" Like, what are we doing?
Maybe he like cut his gums or something because that still counts.
Yep,
like, it still counts as a double minor, and that's where the Avs get the lead here. And Nathan MacKinnon just, what do you like? Genuinely, you're the Caps. What do you do on that?
There's
like,
nothing you can do on that. It's just a perfect shot.
I will say, if you are Martin Feravari, maybe play him a little tighter.
Yeah,
on the shot.
maybe.
Don't let the leading goal scorer get that much room to rip on your goalie.
Yeah.
But this was just Nathan MacKinnon putting guys in a cycle, and that's Alexi Protas he's blowing by, who's a very strong penalty killer, and took him into the second half of the double minor. But they do get a power play goal in this game. And again, the power play goes 1 for 6. It doesn't feel like a 1 for 6
Yeah.
kind of night, because again, power play with 18 seconds left. They get the 5-on-3 as well, because this one, first of all, counts for 2. The double minor counts for 2, so they only go 1 for 2 on this double minor. Then they get the 5-on-3, which counts for 2, right? But then Brock Nelson takes a penalty. Like, they immediately start looking for the makeup call. So like it'll go down as a 1 for 6 kind of night, but I did not think the power play was that bad.
No, and like here's the thing, just to like finish the point with the officiating, how weird it was. The call they made to put the Avs on a 5-on-3 was not a penalty. It just wasn't a penalty.
Yeah,
you did not need to call that, and we've seen like worse calls get missed to go on a 5-on-3. This was like he touched his hand. Like,
that's what I'm saying about the over efficient, because again, they give them the 3 in the first period. Now all of a sudden it's 3-3 in power plays before the end of the second period. They get the even up call shortly after that. It's just like you're going back and forth on this the whole time, and the refs are inserting themselves in this game over and over again. It's like it felt like the only like real honest call was the delay of game.
Yeah, the delay of game. The high stick was, that was a high stick, but it was
a high stick. I mean, to be fair, the third Avs penalty, Josh Manson high sticked the shit out of Nick Dowd. Like that was, because we were all like moaning about it. Then they showed the replay and everyone was like, oh, okay.
There's a call. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, I get that.
Yeah, that one's fine. The last one, I don't know. This one, fine. Yeah.
And it was just over officiated, man. Like it's just take yourself out of the game. We're not here to watch the refs. We're here to watch you guys. And unfortunately, you got guys like TJ Luxmore, Gord Dwyer, Wes McCauley to a certain point. They just try and insert themselves in the game, and it's just so annoying. And again, there's just zero accountability for these refs. We know like they have to face zero accountability for that horrible call on Scott Wedgwood.
But also, it's so frustrating in back-to-back games to go from the Nashville game where they weren't calling anything. Like that, both sides, they weren't calling anything. It was just the kind of game they're swallowing the whistles and they're letting them go. To go to this game where you're ending the night with 10 different penalty calls in the game. It's ridiculous. And while we're on this topic, we can just talk about the goalie interference. The call that would have put the Avs up 4-2, Cale Makar, on a beautiful feed from Nathan MacKinnon. This whole game, it just felt like the Avs were just a crisp pass away from really pulling away. That was like my only real criticism is just the passes were just a little bit off for the most part and in people's skates a lot. This one was perfect from MacKinnon, right on the stick of Makar. And then they go to review it for a goal interference. To their credit this time, at least the Caps called a timeout first and didn't have 5 minutes to review it first. They actually called their timeout to review it this time. And they take it to review. I give up. Like, I genuinely give up on goalie interference. I'm going to try to explain this as best I can because I don't get it. Marty Necas is fighting, he's not even in the crease. No. He's fighting in front of the net. Do you remember who he was fighting in front of the net with?
Oh, it might have been Feravari again.
It might have been Marty Feravari again. He's not in the crease. Marty is the one controlling all of the movement here. He's pushing him. And Charlie Lindgren's stick, I guess, gets wedged, like clips on Necas. He drops it. It really didn't look like it impeded him making the save at all.
No.
But they still call it back. And I just don't get it anymore. Like, I have officially marked this as the official point that I have given up.
I honestly think this. If Lindgren doesn't lose his glove and his blocker on that play, because the optics that Lindgren puts on, I don't know still how he lost. He lost all of his equipment on this play.
I mean, also, like, Lindgren, he's out of position.
Correct.
His stick is completely out of position on this play. He's, to his credit, I mean, going full starfish to try to make the save on a perfect cross-ice pass. But like, I don't look at anything that Marty Necas did here and say, yeah, he interfered with him making the save. He's not in the crease.
Nope.
He didn't do anything on his accord to impede the stick. It's not his decision to be where he is because he's getting pushed. I look at that call and I'm like, what are we doing here? I don't understand this. Jared Bednar comes out after the game and, like we expected, says, I don't know. Like, I don't understand it anymore. And Makar had a good clip about it as well. His exact quote was, I don't think we got an explanation. I don't really know. I saw the clip of it. I don't know the rule. Honestly, I don't know if anybody does at this point. I don't think Marty was in the crease. If we're going to be calling stuff like that, I feel like we got to put a second layer of crease because I don't understand. At this point, I really don't understand. We've had a couple of these this year now, and yeah, I don't get it. And Bednar says, I have no clue what goalie interference is to this day, and I don't mind saying it.
And that's the thing that's with it, and that's the maddening part of it. If they called it that strict every single time, I'd have no problem with it. But you just it's who's in the operating room for the control room that day.
Right. It's like, I don't care if it's a bad standard. Just have a standard at all. If it's any contact with a goalie, no matter what, before a puck goes into the net, full stop, that's at least a standard. That is at least something tangible that you can look at in a review and say, yep, that's goalie interference. Now, I just assume if another team's challenging for goalie interference, it's probably coming back just because you don't know. But
the Avs have to lead the league in most overturned goals. They have to.
I would love to know the numbers for that because I don't know if they've won one. This was the first one I looked at and I was like, because I assume the Avs are going to lose every challenge, but even this one I looked at, I was like, are they really going to call that back? That does not look like interference to me.
Yeah. I did not see a single replay that showed that it was like clear-cut goaltender interference. And I do think that a lot of it was because Lindgren sold it that bad.
And I don't even think he's selling it. I think he's genuinely
he's trying to play, but like the optics of it, again, I'm talking about the optics. He loses his glove and his blocker on the play. So you think, okay.
Yes, like something but it's like the same thing as Eric Haula last game. He's hurt. So optically, we have to call some things. Like, no, you don't. You can look at it and say, yeah, his glove just came off. It's not the end of the world. I don't understand it. And it just doesn't make any sense. No one gets it. You have your players over here like, we don't know what's going on. You have a coach over here like, we don't know what's going on. I'm connected with a lot of the Caps world. They were shocked that goal got called back. Like, I did not see a single person being like, yeah, that was the right call. They're like, wow, we just got away with that.
Well, that was a very, like, the point in the game, too. Like, the score was 3-2 at that point. Like, that was a big goal.
One-goal game, and thankfully that pissed off the Avs enough that they got it back in pretty short order and made it a 4-2 game and eventually a 5-2 game. But that call can change the game, like the same way it was against Nashville. Like we said, that's not the reason the Avs lost to Nashville, but it's not blameless that essentially ended the game. And now this one, if the Caps came back and tied that game and won in overtime or God forbid regulation, that's a huge turning point. Like, that is a genuinely huge call that affects.
We would not be as calm about it as we are now.
No, and it's like you have to call these out even when you do win 5-2 because they are going to bite you in situations like that.
Did they even I know the NHL releases like the reason they made the call? I don't think they did that for this one.
No. I don't, again, because I think the Avs won. Like, it's just going to get buried, but that doesn't make me any less frustrated with the lack of consistency and that you have people around the league and people like us going, we don't know. Like, we give up. There's no clear-cut consistency to this rule. What you tell us is the rule changes, it feels like, game by game. And if there was ever one, I was reasonably confident that, like, I don't think that's coming back. It does. But then you're going to get another one where someone is in the crease and bumps the goalie that is not going to get called back.
Yes.
It is absolutely maddening at this point. And
here's the thing: the Caps just challenged it because they were like, if we go down 2, we lose anyway. Like, well, we'll
exactly. Like the feeling when that goal went in, for me as a neutral party, and I think for everyone else, is like, that's the game.
Yep.
There's under 10 minutes left. The Caps are generating nothing. A 2-goal lead might as well be 20.
Yeah.
And it just felt like at that point that the game was over.
Yep. And that's why Carberry challenged it, and he won. And I think he was even probably like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, like, why not? Yeah. If you have even the slightest incantation that maybe this gets called back for goal interference, why not just do it?
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it actually is or not. It genuinely might just get overturned anyway.
Correct. So, yeah, that was an egregious call. The officiating was it was over officiated to all hell. And I don't know. I was just very, very they dragged this game on, and it felt like this game went on for 4 hours because of the officiating. Yeah. It was insane. It was insane. But back to it, we talked about the MacKinnon goal. And then was it Olofsson who got the third?
Yeah, Victor Olofsson gets the goal that makes it 3-1. It's funny now. Victor Olofsson has 9 goals, all at Ball Arena. And I've seen 4 of them in person, which is funny.
Yeah, you've seen 4 of them. You have seen 4 of Victor Olofsson's 9 goals. And that is pretty hilarious, if you ask me.
Yeah, I just think that's great at this point. And also, when I'm wearing number 95.
That kind of comes in handy.
It does come in handy. You don't look too long, you could mistake it for an Olofsson jersey. But I did wear my Berkey jersey for the game. It felt appropriate. Obviously, it's not on the wall right now. So
yeah, it's just so you're slowly moving the background into your like further closer to the camera. So
yeah, plus there's a new Eagle sticker up there too.
Oh, I didn't even see that. The reflection in there. But I mean, Victor Olofsson, we've talked about him ad nauseum, where it's just when he scores, it's awesome, but like you would love for him to chip in some more. But you've gotten 9 goals out of a third line winger. Like that's pretty good production.
Yeah, he's pretty streaky. There's definitely some shortcomings in his game. He's not horrible. Like he's not a black hole on the ice defensively. He's not turning over pucks. He's just kind of there sometimes. And you'd love to see him get a little more going, but he's just pretty inoffensive. And it's just good to see him break out of a slump. You never know. He's a streaky guy. Maybe he finishes the homestand with 3 more goals.
He probably will get 3 more goals, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
And just get to a nice little 12 and just be like, all right, I'm good till February.
Yeah, he's that kind of player.
Yeah, that kind of player. But he gives them a 3-1 lead. And we can talk about this too, because the Avs got the power plays later in the second period. It was very funny to see Parker Kelly on the second power play unit.
Yes. The biggest unit that is suffering from the absences is the second power play. Yeah. That looked like a preseason power play.
That was so funny.
It's Parker Kelly and Gavin Brindley and Ross Colton, and they're out there in the double minor as well. And you're just like, you're giving the guys a rest at this point. Don't give up a shorthanded goal.
I was like, wait a second, what? Parker Kelly's on the power play unit? What the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, it's like, okay, no Val, no Landeskog, no Taze. Like we're hurting for options here.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
I loved it, but I also just I don't know. We need these guys back. We need them back bad, but. We go into the third period of this game.
Well, you have the goal for Washington here.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
17 seconds after the Olofsson goal. This was the only stretch of the game that I would say I didn't like. Because obviously you give up the goal here, and it's just kind of, I think, a lapse in judgment from the second line. And then I felt like for the last maybe like 5 or so minutes of the period, that this was the only time I could say the Caps were kind of in control. Yeah. The Avs let off the gas, I think, a little bit, and they got out of it because Wedgwood made some huge saves, especially that one on Dylan Strome. And then you got to the end of the second period. You got to the third, really for most of it from there on, all Avs.
Yeah. And I mean, the Avs tried. I mean, Marty Nate just gave like the easiest cupcake to Alex Ovechkin. Yeah. Wedgwood got like his stick knob on it.
Yeah, it's like the thing is like of all the people in history that you do not want to fumble a puck to for a one-timer, it's Alexander Ovechkin. Yeah. Oh my God.
Like,
Yeah.
that was insane. I was watching that. I was like, even Marty thought it was going to go in. Like, did you see his reaction when he lost it? He throws his head back and Wedgie makes the save. But it was, there were moments where the Avs tried to give the Capitals a chance to get back in the game, and Wedgwood came up big for him.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the 3 shots that the Capitals had in the third period. You have, like we talked about, that 5-on-3 exchange a little bit. Chychrun goes over the glass. Beauvillier hooks Natchez, and then they ding Nelson for the hooking on Dow. It's just like, go away.
Yeah.
Go away. The delay of game, just leave it at that. And then it's just a weird game for officiating the whole way. And again, like we said, the Avs just, I thought, pretty thoroughly dominated. You get the Makar goal that's called back. Then only a little bit later, you get MacKinnon to Lehkonen. Good for Arturi Lehkonen to finally get on the board too. He very much needed that one. He's been one of those guys that's just been in a little bit of a scoring slump.
Yeah, he's been in a little bit of a slump. He needed that one in a bad way. And it sucks Makar got one taken away, but I'm happy Lehkonen got one.
Yeah.
So
also, like this game, you might look at it and say the Avs put up 5 on Charlie Lindgren and say, like, oh, he had a bad night. Charlie Lindgren was, like, exceptional
awesome
in this game. Like, this could have been the blowout I was predicting, maybe like a 7 or 8 performance. Charlie Lindgren was great and made a bunch of huge saves, especially in the third period. Then the dam broke with the Makar goal to shake the confidence. Then you get the Lehkonen goal. And then the turnover from Rasmus Sandin.
Oh, that was so bad.
Right to Marty Natchez, right to Nathan MacKinnon. He shatters his stick over the crossbar. Like, that's just, you can't be doing that, man.
That was the Caps game in a nutshell, was that turnover.
Yeah, just horrible.
Horrible from the Caps. But the Avs get that much needed bounce back win. And now you look at it, we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, 3-1-1 on this homestand. And the next 2 games are very winnable.
Yeah. Very, very, very winnable. Where, like, realistically, you should be walking out of this homestand 5-1-1.
Yes.
Which is 800 hockey, which is right on pace for what the Avs have been all year. Like, you have Anaheim up next, who has won 3 in a row, to their credit. Is their only 3 wins in their last 10 games, but they did beat Dallas 3-1. They won a shootout over the Kings, and then they won an overtime over the Kings. They have a game, I think
right now,
probably just started over the Rangers. And then they have the Avs on Wednesday. And then you finish it up with a Flyers team that is just going on their little run right now. I think they ended up winning today, though, didn't they?
Did they win?
Yeah, they did beat Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Vegas towards the end and what they did. But they were just on a bad losing streak of losing 5 games in a row by more than 3 goals. And I guess they did finally pick up a win in Vegas today. So we'll see how that ends up going. But you look at that and you go, you should probably be beating both of these teams.
Yes, you should be. I mean, Anaheim's going to be tough. I think Dostal's back finally, which is a big difference for.
I think he's been back for a little bit. I just don't think he's been that impressive.
Yeah, but it's a Ducks goalie playing against the Avs, so you know he's going to play well.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. I look at that game. The first one was when the Ducks were probably at their peak.
I think it was their winning streak.
Yeah.
I think they ended their winning streak.
Yeah, that was the peak for them. I think, is Carlson still out?
He's going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
I think he's out like 3 to 6 weeks.
Damn. Hopefully he's back for the Olympics. But that's a big piece they're missing. You should be able to take advantage of that. I think this is close in the third period, but I like 4-2 for the Avs.
Yeah, I think a pretty similar score in this game. I mean, again, if the Avs had played poorly in this game and like show that they were just not into it right now, then I'd be less confident about this game. But I liked the answer from the Avs in this game, responding to the challenge of playing 2 bad games in a row and controlled most of this game against Washington. I imagine they'll do most of the same against the Ducks. I think it's a 5-3. I think it's a little bit more of a high-scoring affair, but I just think the Ducks, I think they're just going to get a couple in this game. But I think the Avs are going to be pretty in control.
Well, like you look at it too, I imagine it's probably going to be Blackwood in this game.
You'd think so. You got to give him the reps. I know he wasn't great against Nashville, but you got to give him a chance to get in the rhythm before you hit the road.
But I think they're just going to keep alternating, and then Wedgwood's probably going to get Friday against Philly. They'll keep rotating it. So it's going to be a closer game than we think, but this could also be a first-round matchup. It could be.
Yeah. I mean,
this could be a first-round matchup.
The West has been like that all year. You don't know. I mean, Seattle right now, points percentage wise and tiebreaker wise, I think is holding down that spot. But Anaheim's tied with them.
Yeah.
Like this, we genuinely no idea. Like there's no clear picture on like how that second wild card spot's going to shake out.
It would be fun, like just an ultimate hater revenge tour where you beat the Kraken in the first round,
Dallas
in the second round, Vegas in the conference final. That would be an ultimate haterade.
What would be the haterade Stanley Cup final?
I don't think there is one because the Avs never lost a Stanley Cup final.
Would it be Detroit?
That would be awesome.
It's not going to be Detroit, but like the correct answer is Detroit, right?
Yes. That would be the haterade. And that would just be fun because the rivalry would be back if that happened. Like it's gone dead because the Red Wings have stunk.
I don't think the series would last very long,
no.
But it would be a fun thing on paper.
I mean, they would be fucking murdered. Like to go through the East, like that team would just be they'd be getting murdered at that point.
Yeah. I think but if you want to talk like in this era, Avs, would you go Tampa again just because of the beef from the last final?
Yes, that would be
because you think like yes, we beat them, but wouldn't it be really satisfying to beat them again?
Yeah,
and just like fully shut that down because they have been very mouthy since that final. So you think about that path. I do think Tampa would just fit a little better.
Well, and that narrative would just be so funny because you would tie them in Stanley Cups that they had in their little dynasty, and you would prevent them from taking the lead over the Panthers.
Yes, that would
just be. That would be like it'd be like Panthers and Avs fans doing the verbal meme where it's like the handshaking, like stopping Tampa. That would be cinema. And we already love the Florida Panthers. We're one of the few people who do, but
they're testing us recently, I will say.
Yeah, they're testing us, but we do love the Panthers, and I think that would be the ultimate haterade watch for me.
Yeah,
just beat all those teams.
That would be fun. I mean, but it's going to be an interesting home stretch of this season because it just still feels like there's so much more left to shake out of this year.
There's so much left, but also like it feels like for the Avs, they're 11 points up on Minnesota with 3 games in hand. Like there's a very real chance the Avs could have like the division and all this stuff locked up with like 3 weeks left in the regular season. And the last 3 weeks could just be
depending on how the rest of these games go before the Olympic break. Like it might not be mathematically done, but it could be kind of
right. Like it's crazy how similar it is to 2022. Like it's crazy how similar it is because if you remember that, I think they had everything locked up by the end of March. Like it was done.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, like the last few weeks they were done. Like it was close.
I'd have to look up. I think they went like 1-6 in their last 7 games.
They were like it was bad. Like people were like, "Oh my god, they're going to lose in 4 in the first round because they had just completely thrown in the towel on the regular season, and then they swept Nashville."
Right. Like there's a very real chance we're going to be at that again, and it's not because Dallas and Minnesota are playing bad hockey; they're just playing average hockey. And
have you seen what Dallas has been doing lately?
I'm not worried. Dallas is still a good team. Like I know lately they have.
I totally agree with you that the playoffs roll around. Dallas is going to be Dallas, but they are 2-6-2 in their last 10.
Could you imagine if the Avs went 2-6-2?
I actually can't. I actually cannot picture this team losing 8 of 10.
That'd be crazy. I mean, like still even with that, like who's pushing Dallas right now? Utah?
Yeah, they're not in danger of falling out of the top 3. I mean, Utah has 54 points. Dallas is still 9 points up on them.
They're still 9 points up. And here's the funny thing. They would be first place in the Pacific.
Yep.
Even going 2-6-2. Like, the Central's an animal. And it's crazy to say, but the Avs could have everything locked up with like 2 or 3 weeks left. And all those big games in April and March that are on the calendar could mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they might just be exhibitions at that
Yep.
point. Like again, they're 11 points up on Minnesota. Minnesota's only 2 points up on Dallas. They're going to be worried with each other for
Yeah.
most of the season to try to get home ice for their first round matchup. But like the Avs, they went 2-3-1 in their previous 6 games before this, and they lost no ground.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Now that narrative just is dead because 3-3-1 doesn't sound as bad as 2-3.
Yeah, 3-3-1 does not sound that bad. And now they're 3-1-1 in the homestand. If they beat Anaheim and Philly and wrap this thing up, they'll finish 5-1-1 on the homestand, which is absolutely unbelievable. It's only noticeable for those games because they had the home win streak going in and they lost in regulation.
Yep, that's it. It is so funny that like this was a rough stretch for the Avs and it's still 500 hockey.
Yep.
So
and they're missing guys again, dog days of the season. Like that, if this is your rough stretch,
sign me up.
Like come on, this isn't even a rough stretch. Other teams have done this like 3 times at this point.
I don't know. Like it's very funny. And like even if you say like the Avs go on the 3 games in hand, they have them over Minnesota, they go 1-1-1. That's 3 more points added to their lead.
Right. And that's just hilarious that they have played 3 less games than the Wild and have an 11-point lead and have played 2 less games than Dallas and now have a 13-point lead.
Yep.
Like Tampa is genuinely the only team that is even threatening them points-wise right now. I know Carolina's technically closer, but Tampa has 3 games in hand on them, and they have 64 points. The Avs are still 12 points up on them, meaning if the Avalanche went on a 6-game losing streak and Tampa won 6 in a row, Tampa still wouldn't have the lead because the Avs have the tiebreakers.
Yeah. Just shrug your shoulders, man.
Yeah.
Just shrug your shoulders. And it is truly going to be like the trade deadline is going to be interesting.
Is it?
Probably not.
Is it?
It's not going to be that great. The big fish of Rasmus Anderson already off the board. There
is a conversation I do want to bring up a little bit. Now you bring up the trade deadline a little bit. I do think now that you've seen some of these guys out of the lineup and you have had to elevate your Gavin Brindleys and give more playing times to Ivan Ivans and Zakhar Bardakovs, I do think that maybe think about the trade market a little more in terms of those depth wingers. Because again, I love Gavin Brindley. That's why I want it to come from me to ask the question of, do you invest in that being a guy you staple into the playoff lineup day one? Because he's in a rough patch right now. He's in a rough patch.
I mean, the only thing that scares me about Brindley is he's a dog, which isn't a bad thing. But when you're that frame in the playoffs, that scares me a little bit.
Right. And that's what I mean. I love Gavin Brindley and I want him to play. But now that he's in the rough patch, still playing okay. He's not horrible. I didn't love him today, but he's had a couple of these games now where he's all right. Are you sure you want to marry yourself to that idea? And I'm not just talking about him. I'm talking about Bardakov, where I'm talking you're three forwards down and you're playing Alex Barré-Boulet. And if it's not him, it's Ivan. Like your 4th line looks pretty rough right now. Like, do you want to be 1 injury down, basically assuming Logan O'Connor comes back from Zakhar Bardakov coming back into the lineup? Kind of thing.
I think you look at it, it's going to be nice that it's not a necessity.
Yeah.
They don't have to overpay for something. If something's that they don't like and they don't want to invest in it, like you look at the return for Kiefer Sherwood. It wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. Would it have been nice to have Kiefer Sherwood? Yeah. But I look at it and I still don't think, I see a lot of people being like, they should go get Panarin. No, they shouldn't.
And I'm not talking about Panarin.
Yeah.
World. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like your Andrew Coglianos of the world. Like you're bringing in support, like just more foundationally strong pillars. Because again, Gavin Brindley, love him, great player. He has a great future. Again, at 5'8", with the run he's been on over the last month or so, and no playoff experience, you're a couple injuries away from that guy in the playoffs maybe being elevated to a 3rd-line role. How comfortable are you with that? Like, and I'm not saying that as a criticism on Gavin Brindley. I'm saying it's like when you have this team this good and you have everything rolling the way you do, this is the year to win. Do you put that much trust in a 21-year-old?
Does he not remind you kind of like what Alex Newhook was to that 22 team?
No, not at all.
He doesn't?
No, completely different players.
Completely different players, but like it's a young guy, not a lot of playoff experience. They still go out and get Cogliano. They get Lehkonen. They go get Nico Sturm. Who else?
And that's what I mean. Like, again, they got Lecky, they got Cogliano, they got Nico Sturm. They revamped still that bottom six a little bit. They got rid of a guy like Tyson Jost and made room for an Alex Newhook and even a Burakovsky to get pushed out of the lineup at certain points. So it's like I was watching this game and I was thinking about that a little bit of like maybe we should be a little more open-minded to bringing in a little bit of help, even if it's on the wing for the bottom six. Because again, Victor Olofsson scores in this game. He is a streaky guy, though. How much trust are you putting in him that if injuries happen, you're going to elevate him to the top six?
Yeah.
And then how many injuries do you need to be comfortable with before Ivan steps into the lineup kind of thing? I do think, especially on this show, we fall in love with our guys on this team when maybe we should start thinking about like Blake Coleman or so, like just the first name that pops into my head here.
Yeah.
Or it's like
Blake Coleman on this team.
Yeah. Or it's like if they found a way to get retained salary on that. I know it would be very cruel to make a trade with the Flames that's not Nazem Kadri, but just like
you see the report about Kadri where it's like he wants to go to Dallas or Colorado and you just go, no duh.
No shit. Yeah. He either wants to go to the tax-free state where he can win the cup or the place that he has won the cup before. Yeah, you know what? I bet you're spot on with that.
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it right on that. He has a no movement clause, doesn't he?
I think it might be a no movement clause. It might be partial. I don't know if it's a full no movement clause. I will look, but
yeah, because if he chooses and he wants to come to Colorado, that makes it easy.
He has a 13-team no trade list. So I don't imagine either of those teams are on the no trade list. So, I mean, it's also
for a no movement clause where he would decide where he goes.
Right. And we'll talk about Rasmus Andersson in a second, but Calgary only has one retention spot left because they retained on Jacob Markstrom, I believe, a while ago. Now, both Rasmus Andersson and Jacob Markstrom expire at the end of the year, but if Nazem Kadri and Blake Coleman are on the move at this deadline, they can only retain on one. And both of them have term. So
how many more years does Coleman have? I thought he was in the last year of his deal.
He has 1 year after this. Kadri has 3.
Yeah. Kadri, I still don't think gets moved this deadline.
I think there's enough movement on it that I think he does.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I think like they pulled the trigger on Anderson. I imagine they're going to pull the trigger on Coleman when he's healthy. It just depends on if they get an offer for Kadri. The Flames, like, you don't know what, like, Kadri is at the point in his career where he's 35. Yeah. Like, you might not trade him this year, and then you might look at him next year and be like, that guy has 5 goals and 20 points at this point in the season. And then you're talking about a second where you might just have to pull that trigger and get maybe the first and prospect that you can get from an Avs or a Stars or a Buffalo or something, right?
Oh, on Buffalo, he'd be sick.
Yeah. I want Buffalo to get everybody.
Yeah. I would love Buffalo to get him. But I don't know. Like for the Avs specifically, they still need a third line center. And I agree with you. They're going to look at defensemen. They're going to look at, I think, some wingers.
Yeah. But I'm also thinking like the centers just aren't here on the market. So do you corner yourself in and be like, we need a center and let the central load up around you on maybe the wingers that were available? Because I'm not convinced Artemi Panarin won't end up in Dallas or Minnesota or like a Blake Coleman or a player like that. So if the center market's not there, do you maybe just load up the wings and make it seem like less of a problem? Because if you can't get a good, reasonable center, it would feel like a waste to just kind of let that slip away. Because, like, again, we're talking Kadri. We just talked all this shit about Vincent Trocheck. Is it gonna be,
he's gonna be one of the top ones.
Yeah, but like he doesn't make that much money. No. But like we talked about Kotkaniemi. We've talked about like it's not gonna be Robert Thomas. I just cannot possibly imagine that working.
That'd be so dumb, the Blues, if they trade Robert Thomas.
They might.
Be
They
so
might.
good.
They're in a rough way. We talked about Boone Jenner a bit. I don't think Ryan O'Reilly's getting moved.
No.
So that like we're talking about like David Kampf from Vancouver, who just brings nothing off. Like that's what we're talking about here.
Yep. What's Darren Helm up to these days?
I would just like to know, like at a perfunctory level, I'd like to know
what is
Darren Helm up to these days?
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting. Like again, the Avs don't have a bunch of needs, and they aren't desperate. I think that's going to be the key. But they may have to act desperate, if that makes sense. Because there's going to be a lot of teams trying to win that arms race against the Avs.
Yeah. And I mean, you had Rasmus Andersson go to Vegas. You've had Kiefer Sherwood go to the Sharks here. The trades have kind of started already, which we did kind of expect because Rasmus Andersson had that like teary look around his last time in Calgary. Sherwood's been on the market for months, it feels like at this point. And those were some of the bigger names coming at the deadline. But just for the Avs in general, it's like when you have this team and this is the year. You got to do it this year. You got to win another one this year with this roster you've got. Again, as Gavin Brindley's number one fan, and I'm not just saying his name. I'm saying him because he is at the top of that list of these guys I'm talking about here. How much trust are you putting in them? How much do you believe in them in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final? When guys are banged up, how much trust is Gavin Brindley getting? For a 21-year-old in his rookie season who stands at 5'8", who you know is a dog, who is going to play hard for you, how much does that mean right now? I don't mean that in any kind of derogatory way. I'm picking on him because he is the example. But, like, are you comfortable starting the playoffs with Sakar Bardakov? Even if you're not, are you comfortable with him being one injury away?
Yeah.
How comfortable are you with Ivan being your first call-up? And that being 1 or 2 injuries away in the playoffs from him getting 6 minutes a night.
Well, here's the thing. We need to know what's going on with Logan O'Connor.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because if we're now at the point where you have to talk about the worst case scenario where he doesn't come back.
Right. Like you need to know, because if Logan O'Connor's not coming back, I don't think it's a need at that point for the Wings.
Yes, you need to get third line center and probably a third line winger.
Yeah, you need it. Like we need to know what's going on with Logan O'Connor. By all accounts, it sounds like he's progressing, but we feel like he's been progressing. Like it feels kind of crazy that in training camp he could be back by November, and we're in the middle of January, and it's like we may be lucky to get him back before the Olympic break.
Yeah, it's like we're talking maybe trade deadline, like probably in that time period. But at this point, with no real timeline, no real updates, you start to have to wonder about the worst case scenario and what does that look like. Now, I don't think that's the case because now with the new salary cap rules of having to declare guys out for the season, I think we would have had a little bit more movement on that. He hasn't really been put on LTIR either.
Nope.
So from that perspective, I don't think there's a ton going on with that we need to worry about, but you do start to have to wonder what they're going to do here if it does get bad.
Because how much cap space do the Avs have? Like $2 million?
Right now, their current cap space is 1.722.
It's better than a lot of the teams.
Yeah. Their projected cap space is 789,000.
Okay. I take that back. I don't know.
That's what's projected to be available at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Their deadline cap space is around 3.6 million.
That's pretty good. Like that's a couple like fourth liners right there.
But that's also because they've been banking cap space by not putting Logan O'Connor on LTIR.
Yeah. That's where if there was one thing I wish I was good at in this world, there's a lot of things actually, but one thing that would be really cool, understanding how the cap works.
Yes.
You seem like you get paid very handsomely for any job where you understand how the cap works.
Yes. And the Avs have one of the people who wrote how the salary cap works. So that helps too.
That helps too. But we'll have to see. I mean, it's just, we knew the Rasmus Andersson thing was going to happen. In a weird way, I'm happy he went to Vegas and not Dallas.
Yeah, it didn't sound like Dallas was really that much in consideration. It sounded like Boston came down to the wire.
Boston would be interesting. I know Boston has a chance, but like that seems like a weird move for a team that's really not a cup contender to make.
Yeah, but basically it came down to the extension. Because right now Boston has 58 points. They're in the wild card right now. They're 3 points behind Montreal and only 4 points behind Tampa when you really think about it. Like they're not done, but they wanted Anderson with an extension. Like this was not going to be a rental for them. And listening to Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts is that they were the front runners, I think, for most of it. The extension was the holdup point, and also Rasmus Anderson did prefer to go to Vegas, and Vegas was more comfortable to trade for him without the extension in place, which isn't to say they won't do it later.
Right. We'll see. I mean, Vegas gave up, what, a first, a second, and what else for him?
They gave up Zach Whitecloud for him, and the first, which I think Calgary has all of Vegas's first.
Yeah, they have a chance to have the next 3.
Yeah, because it's Zach Whitecloud, Abram Weiba.
Okay.
Sure. 22-year-old defenseman, 2027 first-round pick, top 10 protected. If Vegas wins in 26 and the 2027 first is top 10, blah, 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 bunch of mumbo-jumbo. The 2028 second-round pick upgrades to a 2028 first-round pick if Vegas wins this year. So there is a multiverse out there where Calgary has Vegas's first-round pick for the next 3 years.
Of course. I mean, I was trying to think of something funny to say, but like that's just what Vegas does. They do not give a flying shit.
Guys, Vegas is never going to be bad.
No.
Like truly bad, no.
Like they just don't care. They're going to keep doing all these things. They're going to keep trying to anything they can to make the team better and win. And you got to respect it. But I also just, I don't know. For me, like
sometimes that philosophy means Mitch Marner and Rasmus Anderson. Sometimes it means Carter Hart, and those are very different kinds of do anything it takes to win philosophies. But Vegas, they go get the big guy every year. They got Mitch Marner. They've gotten Jack Eichel. They went out and they got Mark Stone all those years ago as well. They got Tomas Hertl. Like you look at the friggin' guys on this team. Like, I know Petrangelo's done for the year, but they went and they got him in free agency. They got Noah Hannafin last year. Like they do this all the time, and they do not care about their futures. They're just going to keep doing this, and they're just going to perpetually be good. And they keep getting these guys because Vegas, they're a place that players want to go.
Yep,
it is a tax-free state. They are always in Stanley Cup contention. Every single year, they are always a Stanley Cup contender. They might not always be number one, but they're always right there. They're always going to be towards the top of the Pacific in any given year, and they're always going to have a shot. Players want to go there.
Yep.
And then when Vegas decides they have no use for you anymore,
you're gone.
They will strap you to a rocket and send you to Canada.
Yeah. And the crazy part was, I think with this trade, they opened enough cap space to get Brady McNabb off LTIR.
That sounds right.
Yeah, which is great.
Calgary retained salary.
Yeah.
And they actually gained about almost $500,000 in cap space in this trade because of the retained salary. And Whitecloud made more than Rasmus Anderson does now at half retained.
Yeah. And so it's Vegas, man. And again, I should be scared of Vegas. I don't know. Like
I don't know if we're scared. It's just like we're used to them. You know what Vegas is.
Yeah.
If the Avs do meet Vegas in the Western Conference Final, the Avs are the favorite for sure. But you can't just be like, yeah, well, we're going to be. It's Vegas. Like they're a good team. You have to take them seriously, and they are a very real contender with very real players and a very deep team. The Avs are better, no question, but they're a very real threat.
Very real threat. But again, their goaltending just doesn't impress me.
No, it's not good.
It's not good goaltending. Like the decor is great. The forwards are scary enough. But like, again, like it's just Dallas. Dallas is all that's on my mind in the West.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like the biggest threat, I think, of Vegas is if the Avs beat Dallas, that emotional drop off of them.
Yes.
Okay, well, now you still got to keep doing it. You have to play Vegas now. Of like, there is that threat, but they've been around long enough. This is not a rookie team. I also just don't think the Avs are that kind of team where like they beat Dallas and it's like when the Caps beat Pittsburgh in 2018, where it's like finally it's just like Well, you should have done that the other time too.
You should have done that last year.
And you should have done that. It should have been 2 years in a row. Like, I think that's genuinely how Nathan MacKinnon sees things. He's not going to be like, oh, finally. He's just be like, what fucking took so long?
Well, and here's the thing we know about the Avs in this iteration of them. If they make it past the second round, they win. They win the cup. So
that's the gatekeeper right there.
That's the gatekeeper. Get past the second round, 1-0. 1-0,
baby.
So, yeah, I mean, Vegas, they get that. I love the move the Sharks made to go get Kiefer Sherwood. I love that trade for the Sharks. Like that's just like, it wasn't super expensive. You have uber amount of draft picks. You may have caught lightning in a bottle this year. Why not?
Why not? Get like, you see what Macklin Celebrini is doing this year right now and making like a genuine case for the Hart Trophy and like proving himself to be one of the premier players in the NHL. Get him a little help.
Yeah.
Are you going to win a playoff round? Probably not.
Probably not.
Maybe if you break into that top 3, but even that's probably Edmonton. Like, probably not. But it's not about that, really. It's about building a foundation here, like making the playoffs alone for the Sharks. It doesn't even matter if they win a game. Just making the playoffs with a team with a 19-year-old Celebrini and like an 18-year-old Michael Misa, and the kinds of players that they are trotting out right now and how young they are, they should be over the moon if they make the playoffs. And to just get him a little help with a guy like Kiefer Sherwood, it'd be amazing if they can get him an extension and keep him longer term, and to really start building the rest of this team right now. It'd just be fantastic. Like, I agree. Love this from them. What use do you have for those second round picks?
Right. They've tanked enough. They got all the pieces.
Exactly. They got the guys. You're not finding Macklin Celebrini in the second round. You're not finding these kinds of guys that you have the pieces already. Sure, you can maybe use a little bit on defense, but again, you're talking like 2027 second round pick. Half more, I'd say less than half of those guys really have an NHL impact in their careers to begin with. Even the ones that do, it takes 3 to 4 years. And if you're the Sharks, Kiefer Sherwood, like, this is a dangerous mindset to have this early, but like, Kiefer Sherwood's good now. You can keep him for probably a couple of years at probably a pretty reasonable price. And, it's not the worst thing in the world to be like, well, Macklin Celebrini's on his entry-level contract right now.
Correct.
I don't know, like, it might not be a 1% chance even.
Yeah.
But, like, you got to give a go. And it's not like this is an all-in move. It's not like this is Artemi Panarin, but, like, it's just...
I would like Panarin on the Sharks. That'd be kind of sick.
I said that out loud, and I immediately thought, like, yeah, but what if they did do that, though?
Yeah. That'd be pretty sick.
That would be pretty sick. But, like, I like what they've done. Like, even with the weird moves of, like, Barclay Goodrow and stuff like that, like, they've built enough of a foundation. Like, even if they don't make the playoffs this year, they're having fun.
Yeah.
Like, they're
creating a winning culture.
They're having a great time right now.
It's all about creating culture.
The pressure will come in a couple of years, but this season is just, everyone on your top line right now makes under $1 million.
Yeah, the rocks, dude. Like, the Sharks are going to be a problem. I'm going to enjoy liking the Sharks for a little bit because they're going to be a problem.
Yeah, they're going to be a big problem here coming up. Like, Macklin Celebrini he's exceptional.
Yeah, they're going to be a problem. But I'm going to enjoy them being fun right now until they start fucking around with the Avs.
Yeah. But again, like, it's just, he's got 17 goals this year. Sherwood does. And he's also the kind of player, like, he's endeared himself in Vancouver for being like that little bit more of like a hard-nosed kind of guy and just winning over the crowd that way. He can do that in San Jose. And he doesn't need to be a 20-goal scorer. If he's a solid, like, role player for them, that's still worth it.
Yes.
Like, that's still a good foundational piece for them to have.
Yeah, it's a good foundational piece. You just need to create that winning culture, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and like, another small thing they did, they extended Alex Wenberg the other day for $6 million for 3 years after this season. It's like just a small move. It's like just keeping it together. Keep building that foundation. Like, the foundation's not just Celebrini and Eklund and Misa. It's giving them help. That's what's made Connor Bedard so miserable all this time. He's got no help at all. If the Sharks keep doing this they're going to be able to probably get off some of these older contracts that they have here soon and become a destination a little bit here. Yes, they have California taxes, but like being able to play with Celebrini, like they're going to be able to start selling that again in free agency, and players are going to slowly start to want to go there. And now all of a sudden we're not rebuilding anymore.
Imagine if Celebrini signs like a Jack Hughes type contract.
Stupid.
Yeah, it'd be stupid, but just imagine it for a second. Yeah. Just imagine it. Like there's a real possibility. But I love the trade for the Sharks. And you look at it now with the trade deadline, it's Panarin, Kadri. Like it's shaping up to be like it was last year, where like all the big pieces are going to be gone before.
Yeah, like I think now we have adjusted away from trade deadline day, and like really once you hit January, you get probably a good couple appetizers of some big trades, and then you're gonna have the trade freeze in the Olympics. You're gonna come back from that, and then you're probably gonna have a good couple weeks of some trade deadline stuff, and then the rest of it trickling in at the buzzer.
Yeah. So we'll see. But did we have any mailbags before we wrap up the show?
We do not have any mailbags. I had a mailbag from myself, actually.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I went to another Eagles game this weekend for the Avalanche affiliate team, the Colorado Eagles, up here in Loveland. And I said on Twitter, I'll say it here too, if you have the ability to make it up to Loveland for an Eagles game and you're not doing it, you are missing out. It is such a great time up there. Like the game I went to for between the Eagles and the Henderson Silver Knights, which is the Golden Knights AHL affiliate, it ended up being a 4-1 game with 2 empty netters and like a period and a half between goals. Still a great time. Yeah. Everyone there is so nice, and just the arena is like, it's obviously not as big as Ball Arena, but it still feels just as loud in a way. Like they just have a little more fun up there. Like if you haven't been to an AHL game, you really are just not gonna get it until you go a couple of times, and it just feels a little more just fun in a little bit of a different way. After the game, they're shooting off fireworks into the sky and everything. They had an outdoor fireworks show, which was awesome. It was just if you live within an hour and you're not making a little bit of an effort, like you are missing out. The Eagles are a lot of fun. Blue Arena is a fantastic place to be. The traffic is not that bad, and it's just fun. It's a great time.
I wish they would have been the AHL team when I was up in Greeley.
Yeah,
I wish they would have been.
I mean, because I'm spoiled here now. Like I am genuinely 15 minutes from the arena. Like Sunday was a great day for me. I was up in the mountains in the morning and drove straight there for the game. After that, they got the fireworks show going. Like it is something that I need to make a lot more of an effort to do more often.
Yeah, like it's crazy. I would have been to so many more games because they were still in the ECHL when I was up there. Yeah, the ECHL. So they weren't the Avs affiliate yet at that point.
Yeah. So
I think if I did live up there, because it was only about 30 minutes away from Greeley, and I would have gone to a lot more games. But I do need to get up there for one. It does look like a blast, and tickets can't be that expensive. What are they, like $20?
Yeah, I got mine for 20. So they are a little more expensive than you would think, but they are pretty reasonably priced. I mean, at least the guy that sold me these tickets, shout out to Tim. I know you're not listening because I didn't tell you the name of the show, but he sells his tickets at a very reasonable price just because he wants people to come to the games. And it was just a great time. Like I was there. I got my donuts again, the little mini cinnamon sugar donuts. Great stuff. I bought myself a hat. Bought myself the little sticker up here. Like I'm a full-blown Eagles fan.
Yeah. It's 15 minutes away from you. Might as well go.
And I might as well. Literally, I'm right there. I might as well go. Yeah. And I got to see Barry Boulay the day before he comes up. And like, oh, I watched him yesterday.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I don't hate that move.
Oh, did Minor start? Was it Minor?
It was not Minor. It was Kyle Kaiser, I think. It was the back-to-back because they played the night before.
Okay.
But, but Kaiser had a great game. I mean, it's so much fun in general. It's not the same as an NHL game. It's not the same kind of. I don't know what other word to describe it. It's like NHL games. They feel a bit more corporate, I think is the best way to put it. And you don't know the difference until you go to an AHL game, or just like a little, like a more of like a, for any sport, like a minor league game.
Yeah.
There's just, it's a little bit looser, a little bit more fun, a little more relaxed. Everyone there, like if you're going to an AHL game, you're a hockey sicko, more likely than not. So you are surrounded by people that know the sport. Like they know what's going on probably more than you, because they are here watching the AHL most of the time. Like it's great stuff. It is genuinely great stuff. I was impressed with the presentation. Food was great. They do something fun after almost every game. But the fireworks show was great. It was like 15 minutes. Like, and the parking, it's like a couple bucks, but like there's so much parking. It's really not that hard to get out. There's a Bucky's 15 minutes down the road, so you can hit after the game and everything. Like everything just works with it. It's a great combo. It's like if you got $30 to spend and are within really like an hour, I'd say it's worth an hour drive. Honestly, having driven an hour to the Avs game today and gone to that game the day before, I'd say it's worth the hour drive. For you, it's a little longer. For you, it's closer to like 90. But
yeah. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
We'll get to that eventually. But like, if you're within striking distance, like I'm serious. Like, take a day. Like it's a lot of fun. If they don't have a ton of home games coming up. Honestly, they played a lot of them already. But if you're able to make one work, I wholeheartedly recommend it. It's fantastic.
I'll have to check it out. I only have one more thing too. My sister wanted me to talk about this. She was disappointed in the fact that the Avs did not do a educator appreciation day. She was disappointed in that fact because they've done it in the past and they did not do it this year. So my sister wanted me to come on here, and she is a special ed teacher. I will be honest, when it came to teaching, I had no idea all the crap that teachers go through, but hearing my sister talk about her day-to-day life, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see why teachers are a little underappreciated. So if you're a teacher who listens to the show, we're a pro-teacher podcast. And when the Avs need to do something for teacher appreciation.
I love that shout out. It's a great shout. Also, there's one thing we did forget to talk about during the game. Nathan MacKinnon, 1,100 points.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just Nathan MacKinnon. We're just used to it.
And he did that in, 63 games between 1,000 and the 1,100 here?
Yeah, 1,100. But Joe Sakic's record is very much within reach.
Yeah.
We could be talking like 5 years from now.
At this pace, yeah. Like sooner than we're going to blink and we're like, oh my God, he's like 200 points away.
Yeah. So we'll see. 1,100 points is nothing for Nathan MacKinnon. He'll probably be at 1,150 by the end of the year.
Yeah. It's game 47. He's got a lot of runway left. If he finished with 50 points to end the year from here on, like I think that's undershooting it.
Correct. It's just he's so otherworldly, and he's the MVP. I won't hear anything else.
Yeah.
So. And
I'm not even going to say anything otherwise because I'm so tired of MVP talks.
Yeah, me too. I am very tired of it. I am very, very tired of it. And here's all we have to say about Nathan MacKinnon.
Oh, you found?
I did find him.
Christian has found the sound effects. That's great.
I did find him. So I'm pretty happy with that. And this is all I have to say to end the show.
You stole my thunder. I was going to get dong.
This is how we know we're best friends.
Yeah, this is how we know we need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Indiana has won the national championship literally just now. Shout out Hoosiers.
Big Ten,
shout out Hoosiers, I guess, if you're into that. Rams are coming next year, winning the whole thing.
Shout out the Big Ten, man. Big Ten, stand up.
Shout out Big Ten. Should be good to wrap this one up here. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow me at GR Youngs. You can follow Christian. He can do his hand over there at Christian_Boulay. You almost got it. There you go. And you can follow the show at Hockey MTN Pod. But again, thank you all so very much for tuning in, and we will catch you all next time. But until then,